In the headlines, Tinubu, Obi meet northern groups as thugs attack Atiku campaign rally in Kaduna. Academic activities yet to resume in University of Abuja after ASU suspends strike. Nigeria's inflation on the rise for 7 consecutive months. Away from Nigeria, Iran's Evin prison fire death toll climbs to 8. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ila. Thank you for joining. Now beginning with political matters. The People's Democratic Party says some anti-democratic forces are trying to disrupt its presidential campaign rally in Kaduna State. A statement by the PDP National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, in Abuja claimed that the anti-democratic forces have been mobilized to cause tension and disrupt the party's programs in Kaduna State. Similarly, the party's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar took his social media platform to decry the attacks on his supporters while asking President Muhammadu Buhari to draw the attention of all parties to call their supporters and members to order and to ensure that campaigns are safe in accordance with the peace accord all parties signed up a few weeks ago. The party, however, said that it is undeterred and standing shoulder to shoulder with the people of Kaduna State who are set for the event. However, Kaduna State Police Command, DSP, Public Relations Officer, DSP Mohammed Jali noted that the security agencies had been deployed to the venue. Mohammed Ibrahim, our reporter in Kaduna, gives us a highlight of the rally.
The PDP presidential flag bearer, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and other party members gathered for a rally. And everything was going on fine because people, party loyalists who were there, singers have all gathered. Everything was going normal. Since right from around 8, 9 up to 11 o'clock, then the presidential flag bearer Atiku Abubakar and other party bigwigs came to arrived within around 11 to 12 p.m. and that was 12 noon. So as everything was going normal, people were being called, the musicians were being called. That was when some suspected hired dogs were stormed the venue with carrying PDP flags and displaying weapons like machetes, sticks, etc. When at the beginning we all thought that everything was maybe they were part of the youth that who happened to be majority at the venue. Unfortunately, some of them started removing these machetes and sticks, then throwing at the crowd. I personally, I witnessed somebody who was whose head was kind of like maybe smashed because as those guys were throwing stones and sticks into the crowd, I saw him being covered and then being taken away by his friends. Some people were running because everybody was running. There was commotion. Even myself, I had to change my direction from where I was standing with other media guys. Quite all right, there were security agencies, and even before we left, there were still security agencies there. Like I said, when I talked to the police, they said yes, quite all right, they have deployed more security agencies and to the venues, and the place was calm. And that was what led to the organizers to continue with the rally. Even though it was not a bit longer because they kind of like shortened the duration due to the a bit kind of tense situation, and because the place was completely tensed up and there was a massive crowd that attended the rally.
Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has said that he has doubts that the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar could have made this sensational statement attributed to him when he met with the northern stakeholders on Saturday. But he says that his fight for equity, justice and fairness in the PDP will be justified if the statement were indeed reflective of Atiku's posture. Atiku's comments when he met with the northern stakeholders on Saturday seemed to suggest that the average northerner should not vote for Yoruba or Igbo candidates in next year's presidential elections, and that he was the only candidate worthy of the coveted seat. His media team has, however, responded that the words of the PDP presidential candidate were quoted out of context for political gains. The Rivers State governor is urging the party to urgently address the issue and apologize to Nigerians so that they will not switch loyalty from the PDP and start to see the party as one where justice and equity do not abound. Governor Wike also described as ridiculous the recommendations of the party's Board of Trustees that the national chairman of the party, Iyorchia Ayu, should resign after the elections next year. Build-up to the 2023 election in Zamfara State is taking a dangerous dimension as the ruling All Progressives Congress APC in Zamfara State says it is highly disturbed by the act of People's Democratic Party PDP thugs. Publicity Secretary of the APC in the state, Yusuf Idris, told journalists in Gusau that APC is worried over a clash between the PDP and APC youths in the state.
Those skirmishes, starting from yesterday when our gubernatorial candidate came into town. You see what happened. One vehicle was burnt, close to the government house. We also, our vehicles, captain vehicles, were vandalized. Somebody, our office, the official office, the office of the PDP was also attacked. Several people were injured, these are things that has happened. We have made report to the security agencies, but basically to us, we just felt, it could have been anybody.
I've gone around within the hospital. I met about 18 persons being shot with different positions, sporadic shooting. About 18 people were there now on the bed. We have said the government has already announced no any political rally, no any political gathering within the state till after the situation is okay, till after the situation is calm. Today is Saturday. Our youth always go to daily sanitation. They don't have a single stick. They are having their brooms, making his weekly sanitation. We are here for the people's property and their life.
Now, away from politics, academic activities are yet to resume at the University of Abuja, few days after the suspension of the 8-month strike by ASU. A visit to the university by Trust TV showed that some students wandering around eager to start academic activities, but the university is yet to fix resumption date. Mardia Umar reports.
Contrary to the expectations of many students, that lectures would resume almost immediately the strike was suspended, academic activities at the University of Abuja is yet to begin, as most lecture halls was on the lock and key. However, students and lecturers are seen around the school compound engaging in one activity or the other. The students said they cannot wait to continue the semester that was stalled.
It's actually a long-awaited one. It's what we all have been anticipating as students. And so definitely we are happy about it because then it means that we have to move on with lives and then with studies as a whole. So we are definitely happy about it. The thing is we have the Senate going to decide on that yet. So we as students are awaiting that. And so when information gets to us, then proper resumption starts. For now, I think students are just happy that school is finally back in session and then they just want to come here and then get information for themselves.
When I heard the news, to be completely honest with you, I think the first thing was relieved because it's like, okay, finally you get to finish and you get to, move on to another phase of life. So I think that's that's actually what it is for me. Moving on, it's like, okay, let's get this over with and let's move on to the next stage, that kind of a thing. So you don't get to feel like it has been holding you back for the past 8 months. You get to feel like, okay, now we can resume, let's get this done and let's move on. I think we can't ever really be ready, but how will I put this? COVID taught us a lot. You know, COVID was, I think, a year, and students had to come back and, you know, you had to pick up from there. But one thing students are, we are adapters. We adapt to systems and we surpass those systems as well. So yeah, when it comes to that, I think students are mentally ready for it because it's an anticipation. No student actually wants to sit back and go like, you know, the usual session again. So it's like, okay, there's this mental readiness for it as well.
Business owners around the university premises said they're now witnessing more patronage as a result of the suspension of strike.
Apparently, students are trooping into the school compound, perhaps because of the excitement of the resumption of school due to the suspension of ASUU strike. But in reality, lectures have not started at the main campus in the University of Abuja. But we can see students, graduation students, who have come here for clearance. In fact, they've been here in the last couple of weeks for clearance. And now that the strike has been suspended, they could be mobilized for the National Youth Corps, that's the NYSC. But the Senate will be sitting on the 18th of October 2022 to decide what the rest of the academic session, that is the 2021-2022 academic session and activities will be like.
Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, Secretary General of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria branch, Dr. Hussein Abdullahi said the branch supports the suspension of the prolonged strike. Abubakar Sadiq reports that suspension of the strike elicited reaction of lecturers, students and some shop owners operating within the university campus. Lecturers of the Benue State University have ratified the decision of the National Secretariat of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, to suspend their 8-month-old strike. Trust TV was at the university to monitor the situation. The report.
ASUU in Benue State University met earlier in the day and resolved to key into the decision of its national body. According to the chapter chairman, the teaching staff are back and ready to do their jobs for the good of the students who have also suffered a setback.
We just had our Congress meeting, and as a loyal member of the union, we have also keyed into the resolution of NEC to suspend the ongoing action. So we are also formally suspended in this branch.
Away from the union, the staff of the university also expressed their willingness to continue from where they stopped and said students have nothing to worry about, despite the circumstances surrounding the suspension of the industrial action.
We are ready, we are prepared, and we're waiting for our students to come back from the strike so that we can begin from where we left off. Once we are in class, when we are in school, we should do what we are supposed to do, and I think that's what we are all prepared to come and do this time.
At the time of compiling this report, an official statement was still awaited by the students, though some were seen around the campuses. Some students are reluctant to resume due to the economic downturn. Others, however, are quite eager to move on.
I am happy for the strike has been suspended. I am a theatre student. I am currently undergoing a program, PhD. And when I was told the strike has been called off, I was able to see my two supervisors. They really encouraged me to print my work and give them for editing. So I am happy for the call of strike. It's a welcome development.
Apart from the staff of the university, the business people at the labor market count their losses, even as they express a sigh of relief that the school has resumed.
The total number of persons we have here, about 85% of persons in this market depends solely on what they gain from this market. And by virtue of this protracted strike, it has actually affected their source of livelihoods. And these people also have dependence on them. That is the extent to which it has affected us. Now that there's high hopes that yes, we are reopening,
we are just looking forward to see how we can make do and then manage, cope up, continue from where we stop to continue partying our lives.
Recall that ASU embarked on strike on February 14, 2022. The union was, however, compelled by an appeal court judgment to call off the 8-month-old strike. The affected universities are adjusting academic plans to suit the latest development.
In the meantime, academic and commercial activities have resumed in Nasarawa State University, Kefi, after Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU suspended its 8-month-old strike. Abubakar Abdullahi reports that students and lecturers are back to classrooms, while the business community within the university is back to life. His report is here presented.
Nasarawa State University, Kefi, was deserted some months ago due to the strike embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. The university environment is back to life with activities as students are back on campus.
It has not been easy for us to stay at home for the last 8 months. It has not been easy, but we're back to school now and we've started fully.
Whether conditional or non-conditional, students are happy and parents, we are all happy to be back to the campus. And we are hopeful that the government will stick to their part of the bargain.
The university management and lecturers said all is set to recover lost areas created by the industrial action.
You know, the university structure operates within a calendar, and we had a friction in the flow of the academic calendar. What we've done is to adjust the calendar and to make availability adequate timing so that the time lost, can be gotten back via this new calendar.
I believe that there wouldn't be any problem at all with our students catching up with their studies. The enthusiasm they have shown towards their studies gives me, the belief that we wouldn't have any problem at all.
The business community, which suffered setback, is also back in business with the return of staff and students.
The environment is so friendly and lively now.
Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule had earlier interacted with the management, staff and students at the university, where he pledged more support to the university as a way of addressing some of their demands. However, students of the Federal University Lafia are yet to resume. Academic activities will resume at the end of this month, as announced by the management of the institution.
The FCT Police Command has reassured residents of adequate protection of lives and property in the Federal Capital Territory, especially at this time of the year. The FCT Police Command PPRO, Ade Josephine, who gave some security tips and security updates, called on the public to support the fight against security, as security is everyone's business.
The residents have been cooperating with, as in giving informations, and we have been doing our best in responding to complaints and the deployments. Also, there is a very huge deployment within the FCT, and the Commissioner of Police FCT, CP Babaji Sunday, has charged and mandated every DPO with the aspect of being proactive in discharging their duties and in responding to a lot of complaints coming from their AOR. And so far, the FCT has been very calm. We keep telling members of the public that security is everyone's business, and during this ember period, every resident should be suspicious and conscious of their environments. They should also report every suspicious activities within their area to the DPOs around their areas. And we have our numbers out there. They still remain the same numbers. There are different networks, so you can't even say that this network failed me. So we have different networks. Our response and distress numbers are still the same. The members of the public should try and continue to cooperate with us by calling us and giving us timely and credible information.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at the challenges faced with high cost of accommodation. Details of this and more after the break.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. This is the news update on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories again. Tinubu, Obi meet northern groups as thugs attack Atiku campaign rally in Kaduna. Academic activities yet to resume in University of Abuja after ASU suspends strike. In other news, Ibrahim Zanna is the Speaker of the Borno State Children's Parliament. Growing up in Bama, one of the communities ravaged by the Boko Haram insurgency, he is a paternal orphan who now advocates for the rights of children in his community. Zainab Bala collaborated with Ibrahim to detail his account.
I am Right Honorable Ibrahim Zanna Sunoma, the Speaker of the Borno State Children's Parliament. Today, we are not just speaking on behalf of children in Borno State or Nigeria, but we are speaking on behalf of children across the world.
Growing up amidst the climax of the deadliest crisis, bedeviling not only my own perception of life, but my fellows. It is sad I say that we never knew or smelled what normal life was all about. There were bombs everywhere, rapid gunshots, cops all around, our parents killed, our teachers murdered, our friends recruited into the raiding lunatics of the Boko Haram. Ibrahim Zanna Sunoma is my name. I am the Right Honorable Speaker of the Borno State Children's Parliament, representing the good children of Bama local government area, northeast Nigeria. I equally advocate for rights of children in Nigeria. It was quite difficult for me to successfully go through a formal education, especially growing up in a family of 8, all colored as paternal orphans. Though Alhamdulillah, my parents invested heavily with everything they had to have me schooling in one of the best schools in my state, Maiduguri Capital School. However, it was at that point that I sat back to whisper to myself like, hey Ibrahim, if you are locally undergoing through a formal education, what about those children who couldn't have access to a formal and basic education? Children who are orphaned and have no or crippled definition of what prosperity in life means. Such thoughts gave birth to the modern day Ibrahim, a young boy who delved into the art of public speaking with the sole aim of becoming an amplifier, a voice to the voiceless, a voice to the oppressed, a voice who will not pause until the last underprivileged child on earth gets access to quality education and a better society to dwell in. Through this journey, I got recognized by Save the Children Nigeria, where I was invited to be a member of the Borno State Children's Parliament.
He's the last born amidst us. He's a child
Quite inspiring, isn't it? Now, with high housing deficit increase, rent is hitting tenants in Jos, Plateau State capital, threatening to plunge the rental market into crisis. Trust TV's Ado Musa reports that some of the tenants accused estate agents for increasing the rental fees, an accusation that was denied by the agents. The report.
Tenants, especially in the city center of Jos, said the increase in house rent in recent time has come to them as a surprise, as they were not expecting any increment soon, considering how everyone is finding it difficult to make ends meet. While blaming the estate agent for being responsible for increasing house rent, the tenants, however, call on the landlord to consider the economic hardship bedeviling the country.
Just regarding to house rents, houses are very costly these days. As at last 2 years, we do pay around 70,000, but currently, even with economic situation, we are now paying almost 100 plus, 140, 150.
More especially the agents, they were the main cost problem of all these things, because once you want a house, definitely, before you give them the totally some amount of money, the agents, they were the one that they will go and add some amount of money, which they will be the one to benefit from the money.
But the house agent denied the allegations. They explained that the increment is done with the consent of the landlords.
In business news, Nigeria's inflation has risen to 20.77% in September, maintaining a rise that started in March, a report by the National Bureau of Statistics has disclosed. Recall that Nigeria's inflation figure is currently at a 17-year high. The NBS said that the figure was 4.14% points higher compared to the rate recorded in September 2021, which was 16.63%. It said that the increase was due to a disruption in the supply of food products, an increase in import costs due to the persistent currency depreciation, and general increase in the cost of production. Similarly, food inflation increased to 23.34% on a year-on-year basis, which was 3.77% higher compared to the rate recorded in September 2021. Now, 4 more inmates who were in critical condition after a fire in Tehran's Evin prison have died, bringing the death toll to 8 in what Iran has described as a prison break attempt. Authorities said that the first 4 inmates died of inhaling fumes from the massive fire on Saturday night, but a statement by the judiciary on Monday did not clarify the cause of the death for the other 4, saying that they were injured after fighting among prisoners and the fire. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch live. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.